Welcome to this explainer. Most of us spend our entire lives chasing coins. Millions of people are caught in this relentless grind, waking up early, working ridiculous hours, paying the bills, only to remain entirely stressed about money. Meanwhile, there's this tiny fraction of the population that focuses on planting a seed and just letting the wealth grow on its own. Are they working harder? Not necessarily. They're just playing by a completely different set of unwritten rules. So today, we're going behind the scenes to uncover the hidden rules of wealth building.
What if everything you've been taught about getting rich is, well, incomplete? I want you to genuinely challenge your conventional assumptions about money right now. What if the standard rules that everyone follows are the exact reason they never actually build real wealth? The reality we're diving into today is that the wealthy simply follow a completely different structural playbook. It's a playbook that is almost never taught in schools, but it's quietly passed down for generations.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The wealth illusion and breaking the myth of earning your way to riches. Here's rule number 1, and it's absolutely crucial. Understanding the massive difference between income, which is just money coming in, and wealth, which is money securely growing. Most people honestly believe a massive salary automatically makes you rich. But consider this wild fact. Nearly 80% of NFL players go bankrupt or face severe financial stress within just 2 years of retiring. No way, right? But it happens because income only creates opportunity. A person earning 50 grand a year who consistently invests can easily become way wealthier than a multimillionaire who spends every single dime. It's the secure assets that create actual wealth, not just the paycheck.
This tees up rule number 2 perfectly. Own assets, not just things. Average folks tend to spend their hard-earned cash on liabilities. We're talking brand new cars, the latest luxury gadgets, expensive clothing. And yeah, they're fun for sure, but they rapidly lose value. The wealthy, on the other hand, obsess over assets. Real estate, stocks, businesses, things that generate income and actually increase in value over time. Before the wealthy spend a dime, they ask themselves one simple, brilliant question. Will this put money into my pocket or take money out of it?
Section 2. Assets, time, and growth. This is all about divorcing your time from your income.
The true mechanics of growth begin with rule number 3, which is centered around one inescapable number, 24. Look, most people trade their time for money. You work 1 hour, you get paid for 1 hour. Simple. But even if you literally never sleep, there are only 24 hours in a day. There's a hard mathematical cap on your earning potential if your income is directly tied to the clock. You can only work so hard for so long.
And this brilliantly illustrates the solution: leverage. Since our time is strictly finite, the wealthy focus entirely on building systems. Leverage is what allows one single effort to create results repeatedly. Think of a business owner whose software serves thousands of customers at once, or a creator whose content reaches millions while they're fast asleep. They build engines that constantly generate wealth without their physical presence. They've successfully divorced their time from their money.
Now, once you have that leverage, you apply rule number 4, compound growth. It's exactly like a snowball rolling down a steep hill. At step 1, it's just a small, honestly kind of boring initial investment. It grows painfully slowly. But as we move to step 2, your returns start generating their own returns. The snow picks up more snow. And by step 3, you have a massive, unstoppable avalanche of wealth. The wealthy don't chase get-rich-quick schemes. They trust the painfully slow start of the snowball, because they know the math guarantees an unstoppable force later on.
This leads us directly to rule number 7, which is really the ultimate goal of all these systems: cash flow, not just net worth. Having a high net worth on paper is great, don't get me wrong, but true financial freedom happens when actual, usable cash drops into your bank account month after month. Whether it's rental income or stock dividends, this cash arrives regardless of whether you even got out of bed that day. The goal isn't just to have a stagnant pile of money. It's to have money that acts like an employee, going out every single day to produce more money for you.
Moving on to Section 3, the hidden financial traps. We are reframing cash, debt, and raises.
Let's completely flip the script on conventional wisdom with rule number 5. Most people feel incredibly safe just hoarding cash in a savings account. But inflation is a silent thief. Think about how purchasing power literally plummets decade after decade. It causes prices to rise, meaning a dollar today buys significantly less than it did 10 years ago. If your money just sits idle, it's slowly dying. The wealthy keep an emergency fund, sure, but they aggressively move the rest of their cash into assets designed to outpace those rising prices.
Now, what's really interesting about this next concept, rule number 6, is that it completely dismantles everything we are taught about borrowing. Most people use debt purely for consumer spending. It acts like a heavy ball and chain, financing luxury consumption that just loses value. But the wealthy? They see debt entirely differently. They see it as a tool. They focus on productive debt. Borrowing money to acquire a profitable apartment building or a business acts as a lever, creating returns that are much, much greater than the cost of the loan itself. They use debt to build assets, not chains.
And here is rule number 9, perhaps the most dangerous trap of all. Looking rich and being rich are completely different things. This is lifestyle inflation, the silent wealth killer. Here is the typical trap. You get a raise at work and immediately your spending matches it. You get a bigger house, a flashier car, you upgrade all your subscriptions. You're making more money, yeah? But your actual wealth remains at absolute zero. The wealthy do the exact opposite. Actually, scratch that. They don't just do the opposite, they increase their investments long before they ever dream of upgrading their lifestyle.
Section 4. Quiet habits of wealth. Cultivating the long-term mindset. So how do you actually execute this playbook? Well, rule number 8 is simple but absolutely profound. Learn before you earn. The gap between the truly wealthy and the average person isn't just luck, it's financial education. The wealthy dedicate real, intentional time to learning about markets, taxes, and economics, because they know that better decisions compound just like money does. Those slightly better decisions, made year after year, build into massive financial advantages over time. So, the crucial point is summarized in rule number 10. It all comes down to 4 quiet habits for daily execution: ownership, patience, investing, and continuous learning. Social media creates this wild illusion of overnight viral wealth. But let's be real wealth is incredibly boring. Most millionaires are forged through thousands of small, disciplined, almost invisible decisions. Wealth isn't a destination, it's just the natural byproduct of these 4 habits.
We've uncovered the hidden playbook today. You now know the vital difference between income and wealth, the incredible leverage of time, the hidden traps of inflation, and the quiet, boring habits required to actually succeed. Look, these rules aren't magic. They are absolutely available to anyone willing to apply them. So I'm going to leave you with one final pivotal question. Will you continue following the endless, stressful treadmill that everyone else follows, or will you wake up tomorrow and start playing by the unwritten rules that actually build wealth? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.